second part. I will go back to the description of the acts in the family house, of how it began. About like different ways maybe of how it was made. So as the examples, he was like asking or trying like to make family members against each other. So like me, for example, when I was with mother, because she was invalid, she was become more disabled, couldn't walk, so I was preparing food or helping in the basic or like ordinary things, the daily routine. Then there were also he was trying to put like to cut off the relationship, so I'm not gonna to like make against, to manipulate this person towards this. Or for example, with the brother, actually brother was also showed a lot of sadistic behavior, so that was the person which was very similar to my father. Definitely he had some Asperger, if I remember. I don't keep in contact with him, but definitely like some sadistic behavior and Asperger. And father more like the psychopath, narcissistic personality, this sort of thing. But I'm not even able to focus to remember properly and everything, but just I think I'm saying it properly. But about the situations like with making each other of the family of the victims against, it was situations with, for example, mother, when I was like helping and he was trying to convince me that she's doing this and that, which was the case because she was also doing a lot of evil things, which I'm not gonna mention in this video because that's not the case for it, but also a lot of very strange behaviors, very deviant sort of things, very not behaviors which should be considered as not appreciated and being very bad, but still much less than the, for example, father. About him, there was like situations when he was giving something to others, or promising that he will give some money, or for example giving the recording act of giving something. So he gonna build like some alibi, some others gonna trust him that he's a good person, that because he gave to other, recorded in as much as he could. Then if the recording was fine for him, so he found it as he can use, for example, to show to others or make deepfake from it, to change certain words which were said and other things like this. He then showed to others how good he is, to not make him suspicious, then turn other person against this person, which one had better and one had much worse in the case, because one got something, for example, and one other was tricked into. And that was very often the case when he was like proposing things to mother, for example, in the family house, or to brother. But in the case of brother, that was more the person which agreed just for himself, more just egoistic way of thinking. And also he was like lying a lot, even not to get something from father, but just because he had some sort of pleasure or something, which I found very as the people with Asperger or other, or this sort of like sadistic behaviors have. Okay, long to describe, just not gonna cover everything, just gonna say that I feel like I completely cannot like focus and say it properly. I feel terrible, but yeah. I would just what time is now? Okay. But to go back to okay, to go back to like this way of doing such things by him. so there's not a lot of memory left because I cannot focus completely. So yeah. Yes. I thought maybe I should just stop and record all the time and just take fresh air or something. But in this situation, it's hard to get even fresh air. I'm currently in or foods which water or whatever, which I would feel better after consuming. So I have just to keep recording like this. Okay, I will just shortly. I don't know what's even the purpose of recording it. It makes no sense completely. I realize, like, if I would listen to this, it sounds terrible. Like, there's complete no logical information in this, and even if it's true, then it sounds completely like abstract and crazy. And somebody, because if somebody, that's the whole point also of how it always was. Like, when I'm getting poisoned, when I'm feel terrible condition, somebody can just fake the story. Somebody can just make it look nicer, and say to others, and they gonna believe in such thing. That's why when I speak like in such bad, terrible way and cannot even construct the words and remember the words, then especially sounds completely unrealistic about saying that somebody about recording, about with hidden cameras, other things. It sounds like completely crazy story, and spreading deep fakes about some sadist which just for satisfactions would rape or hurt animals and others and make me suffer or whatever. Yeah, I know that it sounds completely crazy. Yeah. So I just look, I have two phones there, so I have two cameras. I just look like one and other. Yeah. Okay. But okay. So I just like completely cannot think about anything. Just that's how the toxins influence me. That's constantly since years. Sometimes it's much more. For example, now, because I'm currently like breathing such things, also have contact with it like physically. But yeah, yeah, I'm just. Okay, maybe I'll just say about how. Okay, just cover some facts how it began. So I know I covered very like partially this other thing, and yeah, it makes no sense, but whatever. It's not gonna sound better anyway. My health condition is getting progressively worse year by year, so I know that I'm not gonna be able to make it better, especially when I'm currently poisoned and I don't have device which should be clean, or I don't have like access to the food or liquids which wouldn't contain harmful substances, so it's gonna get worse. So to record it, and also yeah, I know that I was asked also to record it and to do it this time, not other time, because other time there not gonna be people which gonna maybe take care of certain things. So and now yeah, okay, so I just gonna record it anyway. Okay. So okay, maybe okay about just other things maybe of the beginnings, just to like end this, of to not take it too long, because it makes no sense how I describe, because I cannot speak, but to say about how the how like also basically tested it, like about my father specifically. That was by hiding like animals, or testing substances, how they affect animals, like toxins and other things, or learning manipulations, or it also of my brother, which was often manipulating or lying, for example in the school, because at the beginning we were walking to the same school than to other. He was my father, I mean, was learning also by this how to manipulate, and also because my brother was very specific person. He was like maniac, as I said, crazy, sadistic type of person. He was learning also how to gaslight others on it. For example, how to gaslight my mother, and how to gaslight me. And to yeah, to just don't have consequences by hurting others. But I feel like it makes no sense. Yeah, I'll just okay. I just maybe say about the current situation, and because that's the most important part. Yeah, so yeah, maybe I'm just unable to even like when I have toxins in my body so much, I even cannot make basic things. Like no, like yeah, on the phone. Yeah. And I realize that it sounds completely crazy now. Like somebody gonna think he's just crazy guy because he just speaks something completely randomly, cannot focus, cannot, yeah. Like last thing that people think is that somebody is getting poisoned, and that, yeah, that's how it works. And I realize that it looks like that. Okay, but yeah, like anyway, to like describe it more. Yeah. So I ended on saying about the beginnings. I think I just gonna say about most important things before I'm getting too weak and before I'm getting to before I cannot like speak properly. Yeah. Okay. So maybe about just current things. This maybe I'll cover later or whatever. Yeah. So okay, just I will skip all the situation like long time ago and just say how it escalated more. Okay, so after this situation, this different kind of manipulations happened inside the family house, related, as I said, like spreading substances, controlling, manipulation, and other sort of things that then I like about me personally, because I'm gonna describe my case. I'm not like focused completely, so I just gonna describe the basic things that whatever. Yeah, so there was some pathology inside the family house. That how it began and escalated, and then I like moved out from it. In the situation, I like rented like on my own. Then I like rented the place there. Was working in the fast foods or warehouse and other like the basic jobs that you don't need like university or some further education, because I had to do this like basically because of the pathologic situation. I obviously couldn't like get like that was necessary and to just survive, let's say, right, like when I was a child or later, obviously. So and I'm just tired, but yeah. So then in the flat I was renting, also that there like similar things happened. So when I was like outside, or then the neighbor which was involved into such situation could just come inside. Also there were like cameras inside of the building, like building, I mean obviously the room which I was renting, because it was targeted into me. So I could be recorded, and when I was like outside, the person was going inside and poisoning or like other sort of things. Yeah, and yeah, so about the flat, which like, I know it makes no sense, it's recording, but whatever. Yeah, about the flat later when I moved, the situation was similar. So the people around, like neighbors and other people, were manipulated with deepfakes, got instructed to not talk with me about it, to act as they have no idea that something like this happened, which was part of gaslighting and part of manipulating and controlling me. So I couldn't make steps, I couldn't like go to certain place to get to show, to go with evidences or to borrow evidences somewhere, to hide them somewhere. So there was like different sort of tracking, like as I said, malwares, also like physically tracking, which happens also currently. Yeah, including like for example dogs which can smell certain things, or yeah, localizing, and yeah, like it makes no sense, because when I speak about it, it's about such things in such health condition, it sounds like as I would be completely crazy, like mentally ill person. I realize it when I talk about it this way, but I cannot like do anything else, so whatever. It's, yeah. Yeah, I, okay, I will just maybe describe the current situation. About the current situation, as I said at the beginning, it's more about spreading deepfakes by like letters like the mailboxes and saying like into certain person, which is potentially can help me in this pathological situation, or potentially can get clean food or drinks or access to an do not poisoned not poisoned food or not poisoned liquids, which I cannot feel worse but feel better after consuming it. So if the person like which can like have access to such thing, and potentially I can get something, for example pay money and say okay, I need some food or drink or whatever, and this would be clean because it would be from the place, like it would be this sort of thing, or this device, smartphone, or would have no malware, or the food would be not poisoned or something. Then if the person can potentially help in something, then in the situation, then the person is often like getting manipulated or blackmailed, or something is proposed to this person, this money, and if the person agrees to do something bad, then the information is gathered on this person, and later it can get blackmailed after a few months or longer or whatever. But yeah, yeah. So maybe that, yeah, I feel terrible like also recording this, but yeah, I know it sounds like it sounds, but yeah. So I would just say that yeah, that like yeah, it's about this situation is also why I can do nothing, because it's based on make like as the example from the past when I was entrapped, for example, in the room and recorded, and with like broken something, or after being beaten and being too weak to do some steps, and getting like poisoned, substances were spread by the sprayer, the same as it currently. That I'm example from a little bit when I said about how it was when I was a child, and others were manipulated which potentially could help, and cut it off like any possibilities of contacting by the controlling. The same is like yeah, like currently is bigger way of how it was when I was entrapped in the room, getting constantly poisoned, feeling worse and worse. So yeah, I couldn't. When I drank water, I couldn't because the tap was wiped with substance, so I felt worse after drinking the tap water and worse, and it was recording that, and that was the purpose of it, so the sadists can enjoy such things, the same as they do with animals, to just entrapping them, poisoning or raping, or just making them feel terrible, and just so they can do nothing, and they just enjoy this because they're mentally sick. But yeah, like yeah, just to like describe maybe the current. So yeah, it's yeah, the current is, as I said, made by the people which are like it's proposed to them to like poison also, or it's like in the people like living, for example, in certain areas when I'm around, or similar with the shops, or for example institutions when some people which are considered to be useful, or useful to reach something for these criminals, so for example to poison me or to record or something, are involved, and the rest can be not and can do something without knowing that they do something criminal, that they poison others or in certain way. Like talking about shops now, like groceries, but about yeah, the people, like just individuals. It's more just that they know that okay, somebody have to poison and somebody have to do this, because yeah, maybe some of their family members not like kids or somebody, but the person have the information, okay, to do this or to, and they says that or they manipulates like the person which is keeping the conversation like on WhatsApp or some other communicator, for example, acts as that tries to make it funny, that this is some ugly, deviant, homeless, addicted, rapist. For example, showing some deepfakes of where the person says that okay, this is him on recording beating somebody or attacking poor father, which is whatever, or mother, or animals, or for example spreading deepfakes like with raping, for example the cat, which was the house animal, which actually the brother did such ugly things, and that's why I told negatively about him, but it's not the purpose of this recording. He's just deviant and that's it. Same as father, like both, and other people like doing such things. Also, yeah, the like taking drugs or taking alcohol, which is also the case like my father constantly did, and I, for example, like never in my life took drugs. I never like drank alcohol, only when my father said okay, like take a sip of a beer, and I was okay, no, just try it, and it was not nice because obviously that's how the alcohol is gonna, I don't know, thing that he gives some, I even cannot find the words, but just take a sip, and because he wanted to share something in his sick, psychopathic brain with not lack of empathy and with social disabilities. That was his way when he was like beating or threatening, scaring, manipulating, poisoning or whatever, then he could give a sip of beer because that was his lovely thing, beer, alcohol, so the child gonna also can try, and that's something he did nice, and he can be glad that his kid tried this nice substance, which is alcohol or drug, right? Drugs I never took, but it's just example that was what I mean by saying about taking sip of beer from father. Or like yeah, I know it sounds completely unlogical, and yeah, how I describe everything now, because I'm very tired, but yeah, just shortly like him as alcoholist or deviant or some sadist, and some persons saying that it's me and I was like then, and currently I am, because somebody like poisoned me, like when I was like outside or like lying somewhere on the ground, poisoned, and somebody like putting some alcohol close to me, like empty bottle, or some other sort of thing, and saying that I'm alcoholist or I'm this or that, and sharing this deep fake to potential victim, then giving instruction to poison, for example, because this guy is dehydrated, which is logical that in the situation when I getting constantly poisoned, when I can do nothing, then I, for example, go to somebody and say that if I can propose, for example, some money for just tap water. That was like very often one of the examples. There were multiple difference. So, for example, I was proposing money, like always. Basically, the rules in this like sick show or this pathological situation I am like trying to survive, because that's how it works, and it's getting worse, like the health condition much worse, I was like stick to the rules, like okay, to always like propose the money. For example, if I ask for tap water because I'm poisoned, dehydrated, recorded constantly by people doing it on purpose, and these which are brainwashed, and let's call it brainwashed because they just don't know that they are doing something evil, because they said okay, just go and record him and do this or that and gather information, and because he's evil and like he's some sadist manipulator, or he has evil spirits or evil forces or other things. That's most often in the people, in other Christians, because I'm also Christian, and when I often like the one recording stopped on the second phone, no enough memory,